Hey guys, so I wanted to share my experience of my most recent swim, my Polar Plunge. I just did it last weekend, and I had a goal of staying in the water for 5 minutes, and I actually exceeded that goal by a little bit. So I was really psyched about that. But the water was 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The air temperature was about 35 degrees, and it was rainy. And I had a few unexpected things happen when I was there. So I had never done a polar plunge before, and I guess I didn't really think it through. I didn't really know what to expect, but I got there and there were a ton of people. So I had a hoodie on and some sweatpants, and I took everything off. I just had swim trunks on, and I had some kind of like swim shoes on because you had to wear shoes to participate in the event. And the polar plunge started 10 minutes late, so I had kind of undressed 5 minutes before the event, thinking I just had 5 minutes to go into the polar plunge, but I basically had 15 minutes of standing in 35-degree rain before I even jumped in the water. And I was getting, I guess I got almost a little bit nervous, but I had also really mentally prepared myself to do this swim. So I told myself I was going to do it no matter what. But I was getting, a little bit chilly. My hands were getting kind of cold standing there. And things finally got started. There was just a mass of people jumping in the water. So I kind of went off to the side and I went in the water. And it was definitely a shock, but I was prepared for it from my previous swim. And I had also been preparing my hands and feet because my real kind of, I guess, issue the first time I did it that caused me not to hit my goal of 5 minutes was the fact that my hands and feet were just so freaking cold. So what I had been doing was I had been soaking my hands and feet in a bucket of ice water. And I would do it for about 5 minutes at a time. And the first time I did it, it was pretty excruciating. It wasn't as bad on my feet, but for my hands, it was very painful. But I kind of just pushed through. And as I did it more and more, I think my tolerance for pain increased, but my hands, still got pretty cold. One thing that did change was my hands warmed up faster once I got out of the water. But I worked up to 10 minutes of my hands and feet in ice cold water. So, the water temp was right around 32, 33 degrees. And that definitely helped for doing the swim. But the difference was when I was doing the swim, most of my body was submerged in the lake and my hands got cold a lot faster. But even though they were cold, I had a higher tolerance to the pain, and I just kind of, sucked it up and I pushed through. And the first minute or two were definitely really tough. If you saw the video of me, it was kind of hard to hear. There were like a lot of people, there was music playing, my girlfriend was trying to communicate with me, and I couldn't really hear her out in the water, but I was trying to figure out how much time I had. In the first minute or two, kind of seemed like an eternity, but then I kind of adjusted to the water. My hands were cold, but at that point they just got numb. And I was talking to one of the, I think he was a police officer slash rescue worker, but these guys had special thick rubber suits on, and they were in the water just kind of manning the area, making sure nobody drowned or anything like that. And I was talking to one of the guys who was super cool, and he was kind of asking me, what are you doing? Everyone's just kind of jumping in and running out, and you're in here. And I'm like, I've been training for this, and I have a goal of staying in the water for 5 minutes. He's like, oh, cool, good for you, man. And I told him a little bit about Wim Hof. He had never heard about him, but he said he was going to check him out. And after that, my girlfriend told me my 5 minutes were up. And I could have stayed in the water a little bit longer, but she was freezing her butt off because she was standing out in the rain. Luckily, a woman loaned her an umbrella, and our child was attached to her. She had him in baby Bjorn, but I know her hand was getting really cold, so she kind of wanted me to come in. So I came in, and getting out of the water, I actually felt pretty good. I didn't feel extremely cold or anything, except for my hands. My hands were completely like frozen. I couldn't even move them. They were just kind of stuck like this. And I went to put on my t-shirt, and I could barely put it on just because my hands were useless. But it only took a few minutes for them to kind of, unthaw. And it was a little bit of a walk to our car because so many people were there and we kind of had to park far away. But I was walking back to my car and I'd taken my sweatshirt off, and my sweatshirt was soaked by the time I put it back on. And, I was walking back to the car, and from all the rain, there were big puddles in the park. I was walking through the puddles in my feet, and the cold didn't really bother my feet. So my feet came a long way. They definitely adapted. My hands have yet to adapt to the cold. So I've made a lot of progress. A couple years ago, my hands, the entire winter, my hands just always felt cold. And people hated me to touch them because my hands were just really frigid to the touch. This winter, they've been much warmer. And I'm able to go outside at, like 30 degrees and warmer. I can get away without gloves for probably up to an hour or so. Whereas in the past, I would have lasted 5, maybe 10 minutes. So I've made progress. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm going to look for a new challenge for me now that I completed this one. And, oh yeah, something else I did to kind of mentally prepare myself is on the car ride there, my girlfriend drove, and I did 3 rounds of Wim Hof breathing. And that really helped. I did it to kind of increase my body temperature, but it really helped me mentally. And if you guys have a big performance or something you want to do, some kind of big challenge, definitely use this breathing to prepare yourself before the challenge, and you're going to do a lot better mentally and physically. So that's about it. Pretty psyched. I reached my goal, and I need to figure out another challenge, something else I can do to really push myself. And when I figure that out, I'll do it, and I'll let you guys know. So let me know what you guys have been up to. If you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be talking about other things too in the future. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know how your Wim Hof method training is coming along. And I'll talk to you guys soon.